BBC Radio Berkshire plays Boy Meets Girl and Waiting for a Star to Fall. As I was saying a moment ago, in a world full of woe and worry, let's have a nice light comedy play with an upbeat title. Happy Jack is the latest from Reading's Progress Theatre. The man playing the title role, Gareth Saunders, is here with director Helen Wernham. Hello, both.
Hello.
How very nice to meet you. So, Gareth, who is Jack and why is he happy?
Well, Jack is John Godber, the playwright's grandfather. It's a play loosely based on the story of Jack and Liz, who lived in a Yorkshire mining village.
Right.
He was born in 1914, and it covers the story of their relationship through the struggles of being in a mining community. It actually, in many ways, goes in reverse. So it takes us back to when they first met. So it covers the whole of kind of almost, I feel like a bygone era, if you like.
So it wasn't an easy life for them then, but nonetheless, this is billed as a comedy.
There are light moments in there. There's some serious moments. There are some tender moments.
Very nice.
I think it does cover a lot of some interesting points. I think it's a very, very it's a lovely short, sweet play.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's fairly short because it's it's a two-hander. So my word, you and your co-star are going to be busy.
We are, yes, yeah. We've been working very hard with Helen, the director. She's here, and we've been making sure that first of all the lines are there, the characters.
I can't imagine. We'd better credit whoever's playing Liz then, hadn't we? Because otherwise she'll never speak to you apart from on stage.
That's right, Melanie Sherwood, and she's terrific.
Right.
Yes.
Did you, as members of Prospect, did you know each other quite well before?
It's Progress Theatre.
What did I just say?
Prospect.
Did I?
Yeah.
I said that. I didn't even know I'd said it. Sorry. Right. Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot the question.
Yes. How well did you know each other beforehand? You and Melanie.
Melanie's done one production, I believe, before this.
Right.
Yeah. So she's fairly new, but she's been a member for about a year, I think.
So, Helen, when you were casting this, obviously you've got to cast them both individually, but casting them together, as it were, was presumably quite a big consideration, was it?
Yes, at the auditions I did get the different actors to play with different other halves, as it were.
Oh, right, yes.
So both Gareth and Melanie had to go with other actors.
Is it possible to put into words what it was that you liked when they had to go with each other, if we've got an expression? What did you see there that you weren't quite seeing elsewhere?
I think it's very difficult to put that into words. Actually, I just like the way they were together. They both. The whole play is also done in a Yorkshire accent, and they both had a really good go and were able to be halfway there with it, even in the audition.
Right.
And it just felt right. As a director, I think you can't always say exactly why you pick actors.
Oh, it's
it just
a very
feels
inexact
right.
science, of course. Yeah. Now, Gareth, any Yorkshire connections, or have you had to learn, from scratch a Yorkshire accent?
I have no family connections to Yorkshire, but I did go to Manchester as a student. So I was exposed from an early age to all sorts of accents from that kind of region, and obviously a lot from over the Pennines in Yorkshire as well.
So have you put a lot of work into the accent? Because, generic Northern will do for most of us, but if there's somebody there from Yorkshire, they'll be screaming inside if it's not right. We all know what our own accent should be like, don't we?
That's very true. I mean, and that's always the fear, isn't it, as an actor when you put yourself on stage. Am I missing something? So yes, I think I have put a lot of work in.
How do you do that? How does one learn an accent? Are the linguaphone records for Yorkshire like there are for French and German? What does one do?
I don't believe so. What for the dialect? I mean, because there is a dialect which you wouldn't really understand, but there are lots of resources on the internet nowadays for understanding how an accent works. I think got a good interest. I hope I've got a good ear. Yes, and but I'm just very, very interested in accents and how we all make different sounds with our voices, particularly in a geographical sense.
And how long have you been rehearsing this piece?
So I think it was at the end of March, beginning of April.
We started at the end of March, but we've had a few holiday breaks.
Yeah, not terribly long. I mean, with these big productions, when you get an amateur company putting on The Sound of Music, it's like 6 months, isn't it? But glad to hear that it hasn't been quite that much of an investment, or maybe time-wise it has been a very big investment. What sort of hours have you rehearsed?
We're rehearsing. Or we have rehearsed probably about 3 times a week for about 2.5 hours. I would say something like that.
Golly,
Now, if you were professional, you're doing all the time. You might be able to get that kind of time in within a week and a half, 2 weeks. But
that's why I always think it's harder for you. You do it, you park it, you go back to real life, and then you go back to it again. An actor a professional can immerse himself in it and blot out the rest of the world. And the cleaning will keep for a couple of weeks, won't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a big ask. I absolutely admire you guys.
But it's terrific fun. I think you get a great payback. Yeah.
Tell us about the play then. It's from the man who gave us Bouncers, isn't it, Helen?
Yes.
Who is?
John Godber.
Yes. So tell us about this play then.
Well,
why, I was going to say, why did you want to put this on? Do you have that sort of decision as the director?
Yes,
right. So you chose this. Why did you choose it?
I chose this. How it works in Progress Theatre is as a director, you pick a play and you propose it, and it gets accepted or not.
So what was your pitch?
I basically got John Godber is popular. That was one start, but I'd heard it. I heard it on the radio, and I also saw bits of it acted at a conference, a theatre conference, and I just thought it was delightful. The relationship between the two grandparents, and also they play other characters in it. So one of the loveliest, funniest, and pretty bits is when the grandfather is actually giving the grandson his Saturday night bath. So Melanie has to play the grandson, and it's hilarious. It's really funny.
In effect, then, she's playing John Godber.
No, that would have been John Godber's father, I think.
Oh, right. So So it's John Godber's
grandparents.
Grandparents.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. No, that's right. She is. God, it's very complicated, isn't it? Yeah. Her baby. The baby that she's playing is John Godber's dad. Yes,
I think so.
It was Ian's child, isn't it?
Yes.
So
never mind.
Yeah, it might be his cousin or something like that. No, I think we need a family tree perhaps in the programme.
I think we need marker pens and a very big whiteboard or something. Yeah. We shall come back and talk a bit about Happy Jack, latest production by Progress Theatre, in just a moment after we pause for the Supremes. BBC Radio Berkshire. BBC Radio Berkshire with the Supremes and Where Did Our Love Go? It's Bill Buckley with you, talking at the moment to Gareth Saunders, who stars in Happy Jack, which is the latest play coming your way in less than 2 weeks now, guys.
Oh yes,
imagine. 11th to the 16th of June at the Progress Theatre, and Helen Wernham, who is his director, is here as well. So we've learnt then, Gareth, that you and your co-star have to play different parts.
Yeah.
Presumably, if you're following the story of a couple through 60 years, you have to play quite a big age range as well, do you?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Now, do you bother with changing costumes or props or anything, or just do it with faces and voices?
It's all done with the magic of theatre. And hopefully some solid good acting. Yeah.
But what a challenge, but a joy. I mean, this is a gift of a part, then, isn't it? Really?
It's fantastic. Yeah. There are lots of vignettes of their lives, scenes. And it's beautiful in many, many ways, because, if you were to describe somebody's life, that's quite hard. But he's done a terrific job, John Godber, in writing about his grandparents. He obviously had a great love for them, and observed their characters and what they got up to very well.
Helen, how do you help actors with a challenge like that of, being an old person one moment and a baby being bathed the next, and then somebody completely different or a different age suddenly? How much can a director do for their cast in a situation like that?
Yeah, you can do a certain amount. I mean, so much of it is down to their acting experience, and so you start with what they're initially able to do and just fine-tune it. So one of the suggestions for Gareth when he plays the very young person is to make his voice rather lighter.
Yes.
Because he's got quite a deep voice, and he's able to do that, which is really nice.
Right, yeah.
And when they're older, they're more sort of stationary and...
Voices do go up again when you get very old, though, actually, don't they? Old people are quite often sort of up there, aren't they?
Even
the men.
Yeah, very old, but they both died in their 70s, so they're not
and of course,
very old.
So you're still booming out the baritone with your older Jack.
Well, he was, because he was a miner, he suffered from pneumoconiosis.
Oh, yeah.
So that would have affected his speaking voice too. So I don't think.
So there's another thing to bear in mind, how that sounds. I mean, can you can you research how that alters people breathing as well? I mean, you'll be wanting to breathe, correctly, won't you? And I suppose how you move around, your posture, and all of that. Does that come into it when you've got a?
There's really only
lung
one
condition,
scene.
or?
Yeah, there's kind of only one scene where that kind of impacts. I think where they're a little bit older.
Yes.
But I think you just think about how it would be difficult to sort of breathe or enunciate perhaps when
what a
you're
challenge
constricted.
What a challenge. So there was Helen saying you rely partly on the experience of the actors. What is your acting story, Gareth?
I first started acting in 1990, so kind of 28 years ago now.
Yeah.
And
so juvenile leads, obviously.
it was, yeah. I'm a lot more juvenile than I can get now, yes.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Which is why this is a dream part, obviously.
Yes.
But, my mother was an actor, so acting was in...
A pro?
She was a pro, yeah.
Right,
She went to RADA and was on the West End. And
weird.
so, many of her... the way that she conducted herself and spoke was very kind of theatrical. I loved it, I loved listening to her. And
her friends, I bet they were an exotic bunch, weren't they?
well, she wasn't when I came around. She wasn't working professionally,
right.
but she was still doing amateur theatre and was very well respected. And but she used to love doing songs and monologues and all this sort of thing, and I loved it. And I think there's no question that I've got that from her. I've got 4 siblings, and none of them have that. They don't have that passion or interest. So, yeah.
Did you ever mean to fully follow in her footsteps and do it as a pro yourself?
I never did. I think I came to it too late for that, if you like, 29.
I don't know. I mean, there are actors, aren't there, who've come to it even later than that and gone on to huge success. I mean, I understand by that stage you've got responsibilities probably, and it's harder to take the plunge.
It's true. I think it's one of the hardest professions to be in.
Oh, yeah.
And if there are any professionals actors out there listening, I take
Probably
my hat off to them.
Probably lots of them because they're out of work.
it's a
Whiling the
tough
afternoon away
profession,
with the radio, you see.
I would love to do it professionally, just to say I've done it. But I recognise how tough it is, yeah.
Who was that guy in Only Fools and Horses who was a bank manager all his life? I always forget about Only Fools and Horses, but there was the old guy in it changed to a different character played by a different old guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he did amateur dramatics all through his life, and he was a bank manager. And when he retired at 60 or whatever it was, he said, I'm now going to throw myself into acting. And somebody said to him, well, unless the old guy in Only Fools and Horses dies, I don't see you've got much chance. And the old guy in Only Fools and Horses died, and he auditioned and he got the job and went on to do years in that. So you see, the world is still your oyster, Gareth.
I'm still hoping for that lottery ticket to come in.
Yes, we don't wish anybody dead, of course. But and Helen, what about your pedigree? Why are you the woman to direct this?
Okay. I just got interested in directing. I have been on the stage, so I know how it feels,
right,
which is really helpful as a director.
Yeah.
But it's just taking an interest in how things look and feeling you'd like to sort of take control and mould a whole production, because it's not just the acting, it's also the look of the show, the costume, every bit of it you have to take account of.
So would you come up through the directing ranks then at Progress and sort of assist first of all, or
yes, you if you're an interest in directing, you get you're invited to direct one of the smaller plays. We do something called Write Fest, where there are sort of 10-minute plays that are written, and
so it could be a tryout for the director or the actors, presumably.
Or
to
you
some
can
extent,
assist. You be an assistant director to somebody experienced.
Shall I tell you why I love my producer? Because she's just told me that it was Buster Merrifield. Of course it was. Thank you, Audrey.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he had a full life before he ever got into acting, and then he became a star.
Was that Uncle Albert? Was that?
Yes, it would. It would be Uncle Albert. Yeah, but there was a different character beforehand, played by a different by a different actor. Well, listen, good luck. 11th to the 16th of June, then 7:45 nightly with a Saturday matinee. The website is progresstheatre.co.uk.
That's right.
And we wish you all the best with it. Good to see you today.
Thank you very much indeed.
BBC Radio Berkshire.